All right, guys, how's it going? It's the Eastbayanglers, and today we're talking about something a little bit different. Today we're talking about Jenkinson Lake. We're talking about I guess we're doing a fishing report, guys. Jenkinson Lake has been really hit and miss, mostly miss for the last, well, forever. So it's one of those lakes that not only presents a challenge for any and all that attempt to fish it, but it's also one of those lakes that, you know, has a very diverse fishery. So in the sense, you know, you never know what you're going to catch. You're going to catch a mac, you're going to catch a bass, what kind of species. It's got them all. You might be able to get a rainbow trout, you might be able to get a brown. There are sunfish and bluegill and stuff like that in there. So there's that. And, you know, you never know. But here's the deal. I am going to talk to you guys today about Jenkinson Lake. We're going to do a fishing report because I fish there quite often. It's one of those lakes that I just like to spend a lot of time at because it's very much quiet and it's just so scenic, so peaceful, so beautiful. A lot of bald eagles, a lot of wildlife. So we're going to get right into it, guys. The lake itself is extremely low. We just had a huge storm come through, and you guys know what I'm talking about, record storm category 5. That did not fill up the lake as much as anybody hoped. So it went up like 2 feet, you know, initially in the first 48 hours. It seemed like to me and everybody I was talking to a guy today, you know, a few days later, and he's telling me, oh, it's up 4 feet. The creeks aren't really flowing very hard. Matter of fact, they're the smallest, you know, if you could look at it, you know, if you have a trickle, it's about, you know, it's about the smallest trickle you could have. So the lake itself is not, you know, doing so hot. It needs a lot of water, and we need to get, you know, a lot more than a couple feet when we have that kind of rain come through. So the trout fishing, guys, the rainbow trout fishing, it is one of those things right now where I'm catching a couple rainbow trout here and there just going for bass, you know. So the rainbow trout fishing is worth your time. I bring power bait and you know, go out there and just relax. If you're going out there for German browns, I haven't really heard anything from anybody. I can't really recommend much for you. They're not the kind of fish that you go out and generally catch. More so the kind of fish that it happens when it happens. Even if you are targeting them, they're that hard to catch there. So let's talk about mackinaw lake trout. Everybody wants to know about those. What's going on? Well, that's a good question. And the question right now, everybody's asking that I'm talking to, all the locals, is what's going on with the mackinaw fishing? And the mackinaw fishing is off. Something's not right. A few years ago, that mackinaw fishing was pretty good. A few years before that, it was extremely good. And now, oh boy, it's not good at all. Matter of fact, they're not really showing themselves, and you know, there's not much area for them to hide anymore, so it's not a good sign for the max. Let's talk about the bass. Largemouth, well, I've seen them showing up more and more. They're doing more to take over, and generally they're going to take over certain areas that maybe the spots or the smallmouth wouldn't prefer. So that's a good note. I have caught a few largemouth recently in the last week, so that's a good sign. At this time of year, normally I don't get those. Spotted bass, on the other hand, which are just taking over that fishery, I have not been catching in the last, say, 3 weeks. I don't know what's going on, why they're playing hide and seek, but that's what they're doing. Let's talk about the smallmouth bass. The smallmouth bass, I've definitely caught a few of those. And you know, it's all going to be relatively, what's the word? It's going to be relatively difficult bite, but once you slow down and try to pattern in or dial in on a pattern, or just try to try to get something going. You know, it seems like generally when I get one, I don't usually just get one. I get them, you know, more than one. So all you guys got to do is get that first bite, and you should be able to get more bites right there at that same location. So go out there and get yourself some if you haven't. Get out there and relax. Fishing right now is tough, guys. These fish know exactly, you know, the drought conditions. The spawn this year at the lake was terrible. I didn't see any of the fry. And on a side note, you know, there's a lot of food coming in. So that lake right now is extremely off. Fishing off, to say the least. But this is a fishing report for you guys. Taking the time out. Eastbayanglers. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks for watching.